This is the Q&A that is following Launch Sequence Podcast episode 75. Both will be on the same YouTube channel, but if you would like to see the podcast or listen to it regularly, make sure to check out the playlist or your favorite audio podcast platform. Now, we got some questions people have been giving us throughout the podcast, and we are going to go through and answer as many as we can here in the next 20 to 30 minutes. See if there's anything especially fun to answer. All right. First question here is, I own a 600i. Do you think it will still be manageable for me and a friend when resource management hits? What say you?
No idea. Like, resource management could mean so many things. Do you mean like carrying your own fuel into your ship so you can fly? Or do you mean like having a crew that operates the engineering console? Like, we don't know what resource management really means yet. Like, it's such an open idea. I think yes. I think when resource management hits, you'll still be able to fly that ship totally fine.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they're gonna make the barrier of entry, if you will, too high right away.
I think they are going to, it'll be more difficult. I don't think any ship will be impossible to fly because of resource management. I just think it's going to be an absolute pain. You know, like, you're going to be getting up from your pilot seat and doing a lot of things for a ship. If you go out and you take like a Polaris or something, right? And you're only one person and you get attacked by a couple of fighters. What can you do? You know, you set up your shields, run to a turret, try and take people out. Oh crap, your shields are going back down. You run back over, you handle the shields. Oh, a relay is broken. You go and replace that, back to the turret to shoot. Like, yeah. I think it just gets really cumbersome. Not Correct. That you won't be able to do it.
Yeah. And there's a reason there's so many ships in this game, right? Mm-hmm. Because they want to have the correct ship for the correct moment and the right number of people, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to think about, like, if you see yourself playing this game mostly alone in the future, maybe don't spend all your money on humongous ships because you're going to have a hard time flying them by yourself.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a reason that some of the ships are single-seater.
Mm-hmm. And I think the 600i is like right around the upper limit of one person feeling comfortable flying it. I think that's actually in the description or something when they were bringing out the 600i. It was like the largest of comfortably soloable ships. And, you know, it's not a battleship, so you don't need people necessarily to be on the turrets. There are turrets, but like, you're not going into combat. So most importantly, you just need to make sure somebody is kind of keeping everything running.
You got to compare it to things we have now, right? A 600i is not a speedboat. It's a yacht. It's a yacht with multiple levels and a bar and a pool. Like, one person couldn't take a yacht out like that alone.
Yeah.
So one person probably can't take that ship out alone and do anything beyond go from point A to point B.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you could probably live on it, but you would still want to be a little bit more careful. I think 2 people is going to be fine on a 600i. That's the question, and I don't think you're going to have a problem with 2 people. Yeah.
Ultimately, final answer, it all depends on what resource management is.
It does. Yeah, it does. All right, not a great question in my opinion. Come on now. Don't hate on your question. Every question's a good question, unless you're like asking a win question, then that's a bad question. But what is your favorite ship so far for both of you? Ender, I'll let you go ahead and take that first.
Oh, man. All right. So I think my favorite ship in the game I have 2 favorite ships. I'm going to say them both. My 2 favorite ships are the Gladius for solo activity, flying around, pew pew, land on a planet, put stuff in the ship, use the internal components, have fun showing off the fact that everything works, all the doors open, all that nonsense. And then if I need something more, I like the Cuddy Black because it comes in green and it's big enough to do almost anything in the game other than mining.
Cool. Assuming this is talking about in-game already.
I'm going to assume that.
Yeah. Gosh. I'm not huge on ships, and I think that's mainly because they can't do much yet. But I would say the Terrapin, the idea of the Terrapin is probably like top 3 of the ships I would need. transporting data, finding data, pathfinding, like that's right up my alley. Besides that, probably the MSR. I would say the Spirit. It's not in game yet, and again, this is more about the idea of the ship than its actual like performance or specific specs. But I really like the idea of having a personal ship with a decent amount of storage, enough space for one vehicle, and the ability to bring a couple friends with me and have them be comfortable as well. And I feel like those two ships, that's kind of my range, 30 to 50 meters. That hits it perfectly. And if I can get a sleek ship in there where I'm flying from one system to another, whether I'm transporting some wine for a friend's party or taking a couple of bounties that I found in a city to another place, I have the space for it. That's what I want in the ship. So I think, yeah, MSR is probably number one, Terrapin number two.
I love that you and I answered different questions just now. I answered questions about ships that we use now and what we do now in them.
That's fair.
And you answered questions about ships that will be used for this and will have this, which I think is funny and interesting, and also probably points to like our differences in opinion on the game right now and what we do in the game right now.
Yeah.
Because I
for me is not much.
focus on the now. I focus on the now all the time. Like, for instance, I actually like the Arrow more than I like the Gladius for many reasons, but it doesn't have storage yet. It doesn't have all the cool compartments that open yet. It doesn't have all the buttons that light up on the dash.
Yeah.
So because of that, as someone who plays the game daily and wants to show off the game daily, I would rather use the Gladius.
That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the pod. Like, there is a difference between looking at the game in terms of its development and looking at the game in terms of its gameplay. And
but those were great. Those are great different answers, though.
Yeah.
I really like that we both did that without even trying to. It was actually kind of cool.
I can't help myself. I just immediately go into what's it like. I honestly, I don't play the game that much right now, and when I do, I don't care what ship I take out. I take out whatever ship is at the station I'm at.
If I think about the ship that's done, that does all the things, like what that future far off, whatever, I think the Mercury Star Runner is my favorite ship.
Okay, cool. Then we got a similarity there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Personal favorite armor.
I'm gonna go with the Grimhex Punk Rock Clash armor. The very, you know, the one. I think it's called Clash. It has like the spikes on the shoulder.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah,
most
yeah.
punk rock looking of
Pirate
all the
looking
armor.
one, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably my favorite armor set. It's the first one that drew me in. And I was like, oh, I want to get that armor. Where do I get that? I got to go to Grimhex. Where's that? You know, like.
Yeah, I get you. I've got favorites from different sets. I like the helmet. One of my org mates, DJ Catmom, might be in chat right now, has been wearing this helmet that I really like, that I've been seeing recently. I also like the leg armor from a different set. Gosh, I can't remember what it's called. I like the TCS chest armor. Like, I like the Inquisitor arms. Like, there's different types of armor I like. None of them have really caught my fancy, though. Like the, let's see, what is a game? I guess I really love armor in Halo.
Okay. Actually,
nothing's really
Halo,
caught me like that yet. There
is a really heavy armor set that kind of has Halo vibes. It's called the Riptide. It's green. It has a feature that made it unusable for a long time because the arm has these spikes, and those spikes used to get in the way of the Mobi-Glass. so you used to like never be able to use it.
Of course.
But I love the way it looks. It's part of that like Gangs of Pyro collection, I think. There's like the green, the yellow, and the red. Pretty sure the green one's called Riptide.
Well, overall, I'm more drawn to light armors, so I'll wait until they keep doing a lot of that. But
got it.
Yeah, the armor doesn't inspire me that much just yet.
Next,
what person, even outside of a Star Citizen, do you want on the podcast or stream? I think I answered this on Wednesday.
Chris Roberts.
No, actually, I would really like to get Skill Up on the podcast because He's overall my favorite gaming YouTuber. I love his videos. I love his writing. I love his style. And I'd love to talk to him about games in general. I know he's got, as many do, he's managed to slip some jokes in about Star Citizen. I swear I'll be like, I have my Star Citizen content. You know, we watch all of our normal creators, the people who are making videos, Noobifier, Board Gamer, Supermac, like all these people are making YouTube videos. I watch those. I have a completely different set of people I watch for other gaming. And so I go to them, and every once in a while they break through the wall and they say something about Star Citizen, which you just don't expect. And it's always negative. You're like, dang it. They're like, yeah, this game came out and it was a laggy, buggy mess, but you know, at least it's not been in development for 10 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's somebody I would have. Is there anybody like from the industry that you'd want to talk to about Star Citizen?
I mean, it'd be cool to be able to chat with Jared.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I'd really appreciate that. We probably wouldn't even talk about this game though. We probably would not talk about Star Citizen at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. To talk about, he does a lot of other stuff. I mean, he's really big in tabletops, I think, and in the painting of the pieces. I don't do much of the painting, but I know that's really popular, and a lot of other cool stuff to talk about, to be honest.
I'd like to host a panel with David Braben and Chris Roberts.
Oh boy. Can we just throw in Peter Molyneux with that as well, just to round it out?
But we wouldn't even necessarily talk about our games. I think we would talk about like space games in general and see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a really interesting
That'd be cool.
situation.
I think also Todd Howard. If I could get Chris Roberts, Todd Howard, and Peter Molyneux all at a table together to talk about the best game, I don't think that conversation would ever end. Okay, what's another question for both of us? How did watching from EQNX affect your opinion of the various panels versus watching from home last year? Or was it more or less the same for you? This one's more for you, I think.
All right, so this is a question for me. So for those of you who don't know, this year for CitizenCon, I flew from Brooklyn, New York, where I live, to Columbus, Ohio, to go to the Equinox LAN, which is hosted by Shadow of the Shadowkin org. And they had this beautiful LAN center all hooked up, and there was like 60, 70 people there. And I had a stream room where in the middle of this LAN center, I streamed all of CitizenCon. And then at the same time, there was like all this commotion going on outside with people playing the game in kind of a LAN environment. And after CitizenCon was done, I walked around with a wireless mic and camera set up, interviewing people on the show floor. And it was really fun. It was the first time I've ever done an IRL event like that as my streamer persona.
That's pretty
cool.
And
I had an absolute blast.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really fun.
You get to meet a lot of people you haven't met before?
Yeah. The JRDF crew was there, so I got to meet a bunch of them.
That's cool.
Which was sweet, and also a bunch of other members of the community. Some of the some like followers and subs of mine were there. It was just a really nice IRL experience for a game that is primarily all only online.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cooler parts of CitizenCon that I still haven't gotten to do. Have you been to a CitizenCon in person?
No. Nope.
Yeah, so something on both of our lists, I guess.
So it definitely changed my entire perspective of the event, being in a real room with real people that I could then go out and talk to after watching it.
That's cool. Prefer it that way?
Yeah, it was great. Exactly. I encourage anyone out there to check out the list of Bar Citizen events. And if there's any that are near you, go to one. Go to them, because being able to interact in real life with the other people that feel passionately about this game is a pretty awesome, unique experience. And also, they want to hear about your Carrick way more than George from accounting at your job or whatever. Like, go there. You can actually have those conversations that you want to have in real life.
All right, another question. Do you think we'll see an underground version of Jumptown once the underground facilities are released?
I think that question is more like, do we think there'll be a dynamic event that focuses on the underground facilities? I could see it
Yeah.
happening. Totally. Yeah. Especially what we've seen of those underground facilities. There seems to be lots of details like elevators. There's that like circular kind of mine shaft or whatever that is. Like the place looks big. That kind of Blade Runner looking brutalism design
Yeah.
kind of complex. Like I think there are gameplay options aplenty once they are completed and in the game. And CIG always likes to take advantage of any assets they have in the game. So I can see it happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I am I could see it, but I think I would be surprised because as ripe as it feels for a dynamic event, it doesn't feel like there's maybe they are working with the gameplay teams as they're building them, but they won't have that much testing or results on how people actually play or move around them at that point. It might be kind of risky for them to design a dynamic event around the facilities if they don't know how well they play in the live environment just yet.
Oh yeah, I think this is way down the line. I don't think they'll be ready anytime in the next year or two.
Mm-hmm. So something that it's a possible location for future dynamic events at some point. Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, I can get on board with that.
Especially if we use Jumptown as the like detail in there, meaning that it's a go somewhere and like control that environment, like hold the location.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest problems I have with Jumptown is that there's only one way in to that building, that double door airlock system, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully these underground facilities will have more than one entry or exit to them, creating a much more interesting gameplay experience.
Yeah. I almost wonder if there's like where the line is between dynamic event and just something responding to quantum and creating an opportunity for more gameplay. It'll be interesting to see if there is an artificial line there or if it just kind of naturally progresses into something bigger. Okay, Enterprise, this one looks like it's for you as well. How long is your beard? And do you have any words of encouragement for Tomato should he ever try to grow a beard like yours? That's not going to happen, folks. I can't.
Yeah,
it'll never be that mythic.
Yeah, look, it's what I got. It's what works for me. You know, I learned this a long time ago. When you realize some aspect of you makes you comfortable and is working in the world, just like lean into it and go with it. So as it became less here, it became more here.
And so the hair flowed from top to bottom.
Yeah, it works for me, dude.
Yeah, I'm not getting past this. This is like this is all I can do. And I keep this because my chin looks weird without it. So it'll stay like this and only like this, guys. Sorry. Enterprise has got the beard locked down. You and Croncy, you guys have got it on lock. Another one, what does Enterprise think pairs well with Star Citizen gameplay outside of the normal soundtrack?
Oh, interesting. So like music wise, wow. Okay. What's funny about this question is that, again, just like I focus on what happens in the game now, as opposed to what will happen, I also focus on the fact that I'm a live streamer primarily, and DMCA and copyright laws keep me from playing a lot of the music I would like to play when I'm playing the game without utilizing all kinds of industry workarounds and muting music from the VOD. And I know there's always tricks to it. Like when I do drum streams, the VOD is muted. You don't hear anything, right? So if I could choose whatever music I wanted when I was playing the game, wow, I don't even know. That's such a cool concept and idea because everything I do is live on stream with you, you know? But if I could imagine that, I think it would be cool to do some delivery missions and listen to like some classic 70s rock and roll, like Led Zeppelin, kind of more psychedelic, like Pink Floyd kind of stuff when you're traveling the stars. I think that could be fun.
Yeah. Some stuff you can trip to.
Yeah, like, or for instance, like, what if what if you were doing a lot of driving in game? Like we still don't have it, but I think it would be cool to get some kind of mission that forced us to drive from point A to point B on a planet. Like we couldn't fly. You'd have to drive.
I'm hoping we get that without the new outposts.
Yeah, like if we get something like that, I think it'd be very cool to just have like a 90s hip hop station. It's just all like, it's all Snoop and Mac 10. Like, I think that'd be great for 90s gangster rap driving on the planet. I think that'd be sweet.
That'd be dope. Yeah. I would love to see some obvious, I mean, this is like a given, but you know, the Western style music that you get in like Firefly, Serenity, or that other game, I think Rebel Outlaw Galaxy, like something that you can go and do some old school cargo hauling to with the acoustic guitars playing and all that stuff. I would love that. Call to Prayer is going on again, everybody, if you're hearing that. Sorry about that. This is not the music that I would specify for the game. But yeah, like that Western style stuff would be fun. Next question. What is your prediction for how long it will take for the AI to be as engaging for FPS combat as CIG envisions?
Could you say that again for me one more time?
What is your prediction for how long it will take for the AI to become as engaging as CIG envisions for FPS combat?
Oh, man. Dude, okay. How long anything will take in this game is such a loaded, difficult question to answer. I think it requires deep insider knowledge of what their tech is now and where they want it to go. And I don't know those answers. So I can't answer that question.
Yeah, we would have a very difficult time calling that out, but I don't think it's going to be until beta.
Yeah.
I just don't think that the systems will work together well enough for us to be truly and honestly. I think the AI will be challenging and scary to fight within the next couple of years as stability factors in with server meshing and stuff. I don't think that it's going to be top quality for a while, though.
Totally.
Last question for Ender. As a veg head, how do you rate tomatoes? Careful with this one.
I love tomatoes. They're not my favorite vegetable. I mean, my favorite. I'm sorry. My favorite is broccoli.
Oh, my Lord.
But
oh, gosh.
I like tomatoes. Yeah. I've been plant-based for 12 years, so clearly vegetables and I have a pretty good relationship.
That's cool, though.
I eat them all.
That's pretty cool. What is your source of protein?
Beans, tofu, quinoa, shakes, smoothies. There's so many things out there.
Love some shakes. Might be different shakes than you're talking about, though, because I like the very sweet milkshakes with ice cream and stuff. But that's cool, man. I've tried to cut down on certain food groups and bolster up others, but I have this allergy to like a lot of fruits and veggies, which really screws me over. So
yep. That's always difficult when there's a food allergy in the mix.
Yeah.
For any diet.
Yep. It's a bummer. But anyways, that is the end of our Q&A session as well. I think let me see if there was any others here that there are a couple more here that are more specific to the stream.
When we're talking about AI in the game and AI working well and whatnot, now, and it's going to be forever. We know this. This is something I just now thought of, and I thought I'd say it. Why not? What if there was a way for a mission to spawn where players would become the AI in the bunkers? And like you had to stay in the bunker and like be that AI. What if there was a way for CIG to let players become the AI in certain small mission types?
So literally take over the AI's body, or they just take the job the AI have?
Yep. I mean, I guess the take over the job makes the most sense.
Like
but
you defend it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be interesting.
I think that could get around some of these problems in the meantime, but never mind. That's just a random idea.
Yeah, like agent smithing.
Yes.
Anybody who is talking in chat, we actually had a link where we are meant to ask questions. So I may have missed your questions, but I see one more here. I will go ahead and ask that one, and then we will be on our way. Do you think the new underground bases, we will be able to cut the lock-on ventilation shaft to go through the demo? and or also you asked about hacking. I think both of those things will be options there if they're in the game at that point. Now, they might or might not be. We've seen them demoed a lot, and we know they want to put them into these facilities. But if they're not in the game at that time, I don't think they'll be in. I mean, obviously they won't be in, but if they have been added, I do think they'll be in those locations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same, thinking the same thing.
I mean, yeah, I look forward to seeing what changes with hacking because we know that whole aspect of the game is going to change.
Yeah. Hacking's
Like
a lot
no
bigger.
more, yeah, no more just have a chip and scan it and you walk away. Like we've already seen different renders of like a module that like clicks in underneath the desk, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we see?
Yeah, and like this whole layout. There's a lot of going into way more than I thought originally they'd do for hacking. So that's going to be an interesting part of the gameplay.
Yeah, so it's a whole other area that I look forward to being in the game. You know, kind of anytime that they can give us an intelligent and rewarding mini game experience to do a thing, I think is worthwhile.
Yeah, same here.
As long as it doesn't become tedious.
And as long as it's adding into the game, definitely.
Yeah, it's got to add enjoyment. It's got to make that experience more robust and refined than just clicking a button.
Yep, absolutely.
But without being so much that now it's like a pain or now it's irritating or like it stops you from doing it. And also adding skill to there, I like a lot. I like when a mini game has a skill aspect that once you master it, you can start to like hone this craft. And of course, as this game moves forward, they want people to get better and better at certain things in the game. That's why mining has gotten more and more complex.
Yeah.
They want that to be specialized.
Yeah. So I'm interested in seeing what they do with hacking, especially as like a possible profession for people. If there is enough of that in the game for somebody to say, I'm going to specialize in this and get paid for it. But I do think that'll be in the underground facilities. Yeah. If it's done by then. But anyways, Ender, this is it. My friend, that was it's like 2 hours of solid content. A lot of good discussion, man. Thank you so much for joining me. This was our first Q&A. So anybody who enjoyed this, maybe you're watching the video, please let us know in the comments if you'd like to see more of these. We'll do them with supporters when we do these. Like I said, every week when we're doing this podcast, we do it every Friday or Saturday. And we do it live with supporters on Discord. We'll probably do more Q&As then if you guys enjoyed this. But for this one, I'd like to thank you again, Ender, for joining me for 75. Thank you, everybody who is here in chat joining live. We'll get this ended, and I will be right back. I'm going to reset the stream and go live right again, straight into Star Citizen, so we can do some org gameplay. So thank you all for being here. I'll see you all next week. Ender, thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. See you later.